That's how you start a campfire in Carter County.
Freaking awesome.
You're watching Pellet Cooker University with Fast Eddie. Light 'em up.
Welcome to the second episode of Pellet Cooker University. It's going to be different than the first one. I wanted everybody to get the base of where it started at for me. That's why we had Bob Robinson on number one. If you haven't watched it yet, go back and check out what got me going in the first place. So I want the audience to get to know me, and what better way to get to know me than talk to my neighbor. My neighbor owns this place called You Create. It's in Gladstone, Missouri, and it's a podcast studio and other things, too, he's got going on here. Go ahead and tell us what you got going on here, Jason.
Hey, guys.
Jason Amberson.
My name is Jason Amberson, and it's a real pleasure to be on here this evening with you guys and being able to get to know Ed a little bit more. And we've known each other for 23 years. He's been my neighbor for 23 years, and I've gotten to know him a little bit. Interestingly enough, he's a very busy man. You know, it's not like we've hung out a lot. We've had a lot of interactions, and they've all been real positive, and I think we both agree with that. But he is an extremely interesting character, and I think people are really going to start to appreciate who Ed is like I have, and hopefully that if you guys tune in, you'll get to see what I mean by that. Because he's got a very colorful past,
to say the least,
and it's a lot of fun to get to know the people that he knows, and we're really starting to bring on a lot of different people. So I have the pleasure tonight to bring you an insight on Ed. Now, like I said, you'll get to know him a little bit different, but we're going to do a little different deep dive on his character tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. And like he said, I own the studio that we're at here. It's You Create Studios. It's less than a year old, and I had originally the idea to rent these rooms out, and I've discovered that it's going to be a little more involved than that. And
yeah.
And so we're actually producing podcasts now and marketing, and Ed's really blessed us with the ability to create his podcast and help bring his vision to life on what his podcast is. So tonight we are, as you can see, we're just going to lay back and have a good time in front of the camera and talk to each other and have a little cocktail. So grab you a little whiskey and join us.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up. So first question I want to get into is, where were you born, and what brought you? Were you born in Kansas City?
Yes, I was born at St. Joseph's Hospital.
Really?
In downtown Kansas City.
Okay.
At the time is where it was at. The house where we lived when I was born was, I think it was 309 Mersington in northeast Kansas City.
Gotcha.
So,
my grandparents grew up on Jackson, or lived on Jackson.
Oh, okay.
My great-grandparents had a house on Jackson. My grandma actually was raised in a house on Jackson down there. So
now, see, Amberson doesn't end in a vowel. So
no,
what
so it's
Stokes. Something went on there.
Yeah, Stokes. No, yeah, Amberson's. That's my dad.
Okay.
This was my grandma on my mom's side.
All right.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah. So all right. So you're born in Northeast.
Yeah. Yeah. We lived there till I was 2.
Okay.
And that's when we moved north of the river.
Okay.
Is when we moved just north of North Kansas City.
Very good.
The family was getting bigger. I was almost 3 when we moved because my brother was just born.
Okay. How many siblings did you have?
So there's 5 of us total.
Okay.
Is what there is.
Oh boy.
A nice Catholic family.
All boys or?
No, 2 boys and 3 girls.
3 girls. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were the oldest?
No, I've got 2 sisters older than me.
Okay.
So Susan and then Charlene. Susan's about almost 5 years older than me. Charlene's 2 years older than me.
All right.
And then I've got a brother that's 2 years younger than me. And then I've got a sister that's about 9 years younger than me, 8 or 9.
So you haven't ever lost any of them yet?
No, everybody. Well,
good,
the one we've lost is my mother.
Okay.
She had a cancer. My dad's 93 now.
93. So.
Yeah.
You got some longevity in your family.
I probably won't, knowing my past. I've tried to use this old body up. Dude.
Well, my dad, I would have thought the same about him, but he's still going. He liked to drink whiskey and have fun.
Well, it's not just that. I've abused the old body. Pretty tough.
Racing cars.
Well, that was a big part of it. That and firefighting. I did the heavy labor side of things.
That's right.
Was easy to do, but I've had 3 surgeries. I've got 1 shoulder replacement, 2 discectomies.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, I'm rough on the old bod.
Yeah.
And the racing side of things never actually had I've had some pretty good crashes, but I've never had a crash that really did me in for a recovery
severe injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, I never did. I've tore a lot of cars up around me.
Yeah. So you're talking about as a fireman. How long were you a fireman?
Right about 20 years.
20 years as a fireman.
Yeah.
And did you guys do some cooking there? Or is that?
Well, that's kind of what got this whole thing going.
Really? I know firemen will have some rivalry sometime.
Well,
like who's the best cook in the station?
Okay.
Did you guys have any of that?
Usually if a guy would cook, it's great because some places nobody wanted to cook.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't mind cooking. I actually started the barbecue thing in 86. I got on the fire department in 87.
Oh, okay.
So I went to my first barbecue contest before I got on the fire department.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And because I enjoyed the barbecuing and cooking and things like that, just cooking in general, I took a whole lot more interest in. And because it helped in the barbecue side of things to understand just handling products and meats and things.
Seasonings
and flavors. And it just made you, being a good all around cook was going to make you a good barbecuer.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. And so I got on in 87.
So 86. First barbecue, that was like a contest? First barbecue contest?
It was the American Royal Barbecue.
It was American Royal.
In 1986.
1986.
And I was with a team called Dudes Barbecue.
When did the American Royal Barbecue start?
I think it was around 81 or 82.
Okay. And it was just some guys getting together to have a competition.
It was actually in the parking lot next to the Golden Ox.
Okay.
Is where it originally started there by Kemper. Okay, then it grew. I think it was there 1 or 2 years. Then it grew to where they brought it into the parking lot on the backside of Kemper Arena, right down there. Okay. When I was there in 86, there was like 60 or 70 teams at that time.
60 to 70 teams on the very first one?
Oh, no.
In 86.
Yeah, it was already been going about
Which
5 years or so.
Which is still compared to what it is today.
Well, the birth of the Kansas City Barbecue Society was early 80s.
Okay.
Right there. And the guy that I was cooking with, Neil Van Hoosier, he was one of the original members of the Kansas City Barbecue Society. Now, how I met Neil Van Hoosier was my dad had a little welding shop there next to his house. And he was buddies with a friend 3 doors up the street. And he wanted the smoker built. So he had an old pop-up camper frame that had wheels on it. And then he had this 500-gallon fuel barrel tank. And he had this idea of how to put this box on the side of this fuel barrel tank.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And wanted a door cut in it.
The first indirect smoker?
Well, I don't know if it's first.
I
don't know if it's first or what, but this was his idea of what he wanted to make as a smoker. But he wanted rods welded across to the top, inside the top of it, and he hung everything in it. Okay, there's no shelving in it.
Yeah.
It was all, he made these hooks, and he hung everything in this smoker, is what he did.
Yeah.
So he drew this thing out on a piece of chalk on the floor, okay, in the shop.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, we can.
And your dad was a fabricator?
Well, he was a welder and sort of a fabricator. I actually ended up being the fabricator side of his business. He was a fantastic welder and stuff.
Okay.
And he could put stuff together, don't get me wrong, but I ended up really picking up things. I really enjoyed fabricating and making parts.
Making this barbecue thing, was that kind of one of your first creations?
I don't know if it's mine or his or what, but we threw this thing together.
But I mean, as far as like, you know, he kind of came up with the design for
Yeah,
it,
Neil
right?
did.
Neil came up with the
Yeah,
design.
and he came up with what he wanted.
but then you end up welding it together?
Yeah.
So
me
was
and
this,
Dad.
I mean, was this like one of your first times
Oh, this would have been the first thing ever.
that you ever welded together?
Not welded, but I mean, first thing, we built dune buggies, all kinds of shit.
Okay.
But I go back into building cars, and that's why my passion for off-road racing, it'll come up.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that here.
Yeah,
shortly.
that's down the road.
Yeah, we'll
yet.
talk
We're
about
in a
that.
barbecue scene.
Right. Now you're building your first barbecue.
First barbecue pit. Yeah. So we
Was that kind of an inspiration for you?
Not
too?
for me yet. Not
Okay,
yet.
not
Okay.
yet. Okay.
Not yet. I'm just thinking this guy's nuts. Okay. Is what
All
I'm
right.
thinking at this point.
all right.
All right. So we put this together, and I heard he said, why don't you come on down? He was a truck driver in the East Bottoms. Of course, that's where my family's all from, is the East Bottoms.
Okay.
And down there by this truck line he worked for, and he says, come on down. We're gonna run this thing through the ringer and test it. I said, okay, I'll come down. So I go down there. I come by, and everybody's sitting around drinking beer and stuff like that. Yeah. Their idea of testing this smoker was 45 slabs of ribs.
In a barrel smoker?
Yeah, in this barrel smoker, hanging 45 slabs of ribs.
55-gallon
No,
barrel?
it's a 500-gallon.
Oh, my God. Okay,
no, not 50.
Okay.
No, you missed a zero in there.
Oh,
Okay.
God dang.
You don't miss zeros when it comes to money.
Well, they used
but you
to put
missed
oil
a
in that?
yeah, it's an old oil tank or it's
God.
a fuel tank or something.
No kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm watching this and I'm going, holy shit, these guys are nuts.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but everybody's having a good time.
So how many ribs again?
45 slabs.
45 slabs of ribs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right.
But everybody was having a good time and ate the food, and it was good. You know, there's no doubt about it, and very interesting. And then there was this thing called the American Royal Barbecue coming up.
Okay.
And he says,
86.
Hey, he invited me to come down. It was in November of 86. Okay. And cold.
Yeah.
And all
Well, they're
that.
doing it in November again this year.
Well, this year, but back in the day, it was early. Okay. It ended up getting moved up after the American Royal was a whole long story.
Yeah.
But, anyway, it was late November almost, maybe the week
boy.
before Thanksgiving or something.
Oh, my God.
Because it was cold. And it didn't snow that year, but the next year it did
Barbecue
snow.
season.
Well, yeah, yeah, really, barbecue season in Kansas
season.
City. Yeah, right. Yeah, I went. They invited me to come down and cook with them, and after that, that's when I decided, man, you know what? I think I can do this. And I found a Lincoln Welder trailer that like a portable welder went on.
Okay.
I found this thing, and then Eric Danner, a friend of mine, his uncles had this old fuel tank out on their farm. It was 350 gallon. Okay. And it's like, you can have
So
that.
those welder tanks or those welder trailers are pretty stout.
Well, it's like 3-inch channel or so.
Yeah.
And it's got a pretty heavy.
Because now you think you have to build a 500-gallon.
Well, I think I got to build something better that's on an old Coleman pop-up trailer.
Yeah.
That's, piece of plywood
your
on it.
first impression was a 500-gallon
Yeah, that was
45 slab smoker.
Yeah, and I also thought, a door on one side, it's pain in the butt reaching in getting those ribs just from one side. So I got to put doors on both sides.
Okay,
Mine.
yeah.
Okay, so I can go around the other side and get to it.
There you go, yeah.
To it.
All right.
That was before I ever put a grate in.
Kind of gave you your go big or go home attitude.
Well,
person.
it's gotta be
A
better.
little bigger is better.
Exactly. And actually, I'm going to move many moons ahead. The guy that ended up buying that thing, he wanted a canopy put on it, and it was a liquor store in Midtown Kansas City bought it from me to cook barbecue.
The one you made on the welder trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Very cool.
That thing may still be sitting there. I don't know.
Really?
But he wanted a roof over the top of it,
Okay.
for when it was raining and things. But that thing
Yeah.
was around for years and years
Wow.
and years. Oh my God! But Neil's wasn't. His fell apart and was gone or something. I don't know.
really?
I never seen his again.
Okay.
Mine
Yours-
survived long time, dude. Okay.
You're a better designer, apparently.
Well,
yeah.
my stuff. Just remember, my stuff lasts. That's why, you need something, go to Cook Shack. I mean,
we got some great episodes. We got some great episodes coming up that you're going to see a lot of cool stuff, and a lot of industry information is going to be coming out.
Oh, my
It's
God,
definitely going to be. If you're into food trucks, barbecue, any of that stuff, you're going to want to tune in on some of these other podcasts that we got coming up. But anyway, so
Well, the best one was, blowing smoke up Famous Dave's butt.
well, that's a good one.
That was
too.
the best one.
Yeah, and didn't leave a smoke ring.
It didn't leave smoke ring.
Yeah.
All right. So that was
But 86,
86.
very first barbecue. Then you become a fireman.
87. It was December of 87. I got in the Kansas City Fire Department. I was working at the time for Kansas Tunneling. Prior to that, I was digging tunnels and doing road boring.
Really?
Okay, I was their welder on the scene for that company, underground mining type thing.
Wow.
It was a really cool deal. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Just sad thing was the guys I was working for, to get a hold of them, there was this one certain bar you had to call. Seriously.
Yeah.
So they were either flat broke or flat rich is what they were. And they'd show up on a site, and if you messed up something that cost $5, they'd go off the deep end. And you screw up something that cost $50,000, it might not think too much about it. Okay. I mean,
That's an interesting diversity of people.
it was, dude.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you. So I worked for them. Actually, I went to work for them in 85. And,
Okay. So you'd already been working for them. 86, you go to the first American Royal Barbecue. 87.
It was December, end of 87.
Who got you into the fire department?
Well, my father-in-law was a captain
Okay, yeah, Frank.
on the fire department, Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I married into the family. He retired in 95. But I
What year did you get married?
79.
Okay, so you've been married for about 7 years now. 8 years.
Right. And so I'd worked for Kenworth Truck Company. And when I was in high school, I got out of high school, I got a job down at KW Dart. And I was there almost a year, and I went to trade school and got my welding certifications there. Okay. So then I became a utility welder down there, and my dad was adamant, and he was right. You need a skill. And also, too, welders, what they call red line. So when things slowed up, the regular assembler people were gone. They kept their people that had skills, So, and then I could also, too, down there from Kenworth Truck, I could bump over into the Dart building. That's where they built the big coal hauler stuff.
Okay.
So I could bump back and forth between the two companies. Both of them were owned by PACCAR. So that's why they called it KW Dart down there. They left Kansas City. They started slowing down and cutting back in early 85. My dad was he had super long tenure with them down there, and he left in late 86 when they finally, when he's one of the last guys out the door, when they, packing stuff up, moving things out and all. So he only worked at one place for one night. And after that, he did nothing but work for himself in his own little weld shop. Now, that didn't happen overnight, because as a kid, with my dad had 5 mouths to feed and all. And so he always had 2 jobs. He had his day job, then he had a night job, part-time job, and then he had a Saturday job. That it was Austin Trailer Rentals that he went to. Okay. So really, Dad only had like one day a week off, was Sunday.
Yeah.
And
he would start doing some welding on Sundays just to fill some time.
He had a little he had an arc welder at home. I think he even might have had a torch. But he would build basketball goals and clothesline poles and jungle gyms and all kinds of stuff he'd sell in the local newspaper to make some extra money there. Dad was always one to try to figure out how to make an extra buck to help pay for things. Mm-hmm. So, which was good. I learned that from family, so that's
an entrepreneurial seed.
Kind of, sort of was.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the seeds that kind of give you the mentality that you can make extra money other ways. You don't always have to do.
Well, kind of go down. Let's go down that rat hole a little bit.
All right.
So after I got on the fire department, Dad didn't have quite enough business and things to have anybody helping him right at that given time. So I was actually able to go back. I had some other companies that I had worked for through my time period there in that 83 to 87 range. I could walk in their door and anybody would hire me. I was evidently pretty good at what I did. And I mean, I worked for a couple of different places. I actually drove a truck for a little while, which was very cool. I never had, at that time, you didn't have to have CDLs. You just had to have a commercial
driver's license.
you know. But I actually hustled freight around Kansas City for a while, a little bit.
Okay.
And drove
Like
tractor
a
trailer.
box truck or tractor trailer?
No, I drove tractor trailer.
Jiminy Christmas.
You know. And,
What has this guy not done? That's the question.
well,
I'll find something, Ed.
I was taught a guy that we were working on his trucks for years. He's the one, he had a little small trucking company, and he said, jump in that driver's seat, dude. You know, and I would back trailers down this alleyway, and I learned how to hustle trailers around where my grandmother's place, where we had a little shop in an alleyway down in the East Bottoms. Anyway, I can't remember Ed's last name, right? And his name was Ed. And he hauled pop bottles out to a factory in Lenexa. And he was big on Mack trucks. And he let me wheel him. He'd sit in the passenger seat, and he said, okay, you want to stay in the middle lane, you want to do this. He taught me a ton about being a truck driver. Huh. Okay. And then also too, I got to
About how old were you then?
shoot 86, or no, this was in early 80s.
Yeah, when you're driving these trucks.
So I
and
was,
stuff.
early 20s
Okay.
is what I was.
And when did you meet Kathy?
Me and her married. I was 21 and she was 20.
And what year was that?
79.
All right, we're admitting their ages now here. So, all right, so you're married. How long were you guys together before you got married?
8 months.
8 months. All right.
Yeah.
And you've been together now how long?
46 years.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's crazy.
So when the 50 years, so I DJ, guys. So when 50 year comes up, I want to DJ for your 50th anniversary.
Well, it sounds like fun.
And I'll give that to you.
Oh, wow. Well, nice.
I'm saying it right here live right now.
I'm going to hold him to it.
I'm going to gift that to you. I'll be your DJ.
I wish
4 more years.
I wish we'd have had a nicer party at the American Royal when I got into Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because he come over and DJ'd there. It was pouring ass raining.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that coming up here.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're all over the place right now because we're having fun. You know, we're drinking and having a good time. So, but
hopefully you're all getting to try to know me.
Yeah, this is the whole point of this whole deal. You know, I want you guys to get to know Ed because he's a extremely interesting person, and we're just starting to scratch the surface. So hang in there because we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. But so Mary Kathy,
this is why I wanted somebody to interview me instead of sitting here trying to do a monologue.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Nobody likes to pat. Well, some people like to pat themselves on the back, but I think it's a lot easier to talk about yourself when somebody's asking questions and digging a little deeper in. But we're having fun with it, like I said. So
just don't dig too deep.
Yeah, we won't. Now
he's going to go.
Yeah, now I'm like,
what do you mean? What he's going to ask all kinds of questions now.
So were you ever a stripper?
No, I never. No. I never had the body for that. Matter of fact, my wife said I had a baby face forever.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of do too. So, all right. So 79, meet Kathy, married, working with your dad a little bit, doing some welding.
Yeah.
And then you meet this guy and you're starting to do some trucking.
Well, actually, we worked on his trucks and trailers and things.
Was he part of the underground digging stuff that you did too?
No, this was one of my dad's customers.
Okay. Was it kind of a side hustle?
That was a side hustle for my dad, and I'd come help him at times.
Was this while you were doing the underground tunneling and stuff?
Yeah, when I was doing that, I was still helping him on and off when he needed a hand for doing things.
Gotcha.
And of course, I knew his whole customer base really well, too, which comes back into 1997. See, that's when I bought 97 when I bought my own building and started my own business because Dad was slowing down. That's when I started doing fabricating work and having my own shop. That's when I bought that's when if y'all ever
I like where we're going with this.
If you ever got an email from me and it said Heim20 at AOL.com. That's my email address, Heim20 at AOL.com. Heim20 stand for the Heim 20 Fire Station. into East Bottoms. That was my shop.
That was where. Okay, that was your shop.
I
That
bought-
wasn't where you were
No,
a fireman.
that was where I bought that building.
Okay.
in '97.
Very cool.
is what I did.
All right, so let's back up again. So working mid, and you were going into this a little bit. You wanted to share a little bit about your dad, and
Yeah, well, that's one of the things it brought me back into some more barbecue because we ended up doing a lot of kitchen work in Kansas City. Stainless stuff in kitchens and dish lines. And one of his customers was Hobart, and then it was guys from Hobart who went and started their own dishwasher company. So, and a lot of times, you were working weekends and evenings on kitchen remodels and building out. And these people were not.
And when you
Folks
say
that-
kitchen remodel, you're talking commercial kitchen.
Yeah, commercial
remodel.
kitchen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
These people weren't buying just new equipment. They were buying a pile of junk. Can you put this together for me? So we're making dish tables and making things fit here and fit there. And
Gotcha.
so it was an interesting, it was a very interesting deal. But so we're in these kitchens and I'm walking around. Of course, there's so many barbecue places. And
Already at this time.
Oh yeah, yeah, and my background, cooking competition barbecue, I always took an interest looking at the commercial pits,
Okay.
and a lot of J&R Oilers were in this town. They were all wood-fired rotisserie pits, and so I'm looking at these pits, and what happened is the management would say, "You know anything about these things?" And I said, "No, but there ain't nothing to them." And it's like, well, I need this done, or I need that done, or this is doing this, or this is doing that. Can you fix this? Can you fix that? And so it wasn't long before we got to be known as the guys to fix those things in this town. So we worked on J&R Oilers.
For the people that don't know, the J&R Oiler.
It's an all wood-fired rotisserie,
Okay.
okay? And
Is it mobile?
no. These
Okay.
things are giant rotisserie pits.
Okay.
Is what they are.
That's what you're
Actually,
gonna see
Casey
in-
Masterpiece had 2 of them, and then there was a place called I want to say Bodie's Barbecue. It may not be quite
So
right.
this isn't what we see at Gates when we go to Gates Barbecue?
No, Gates doesn't have those.
They don't have a JR
They don't have
Oiler.
Oilers.
Okay.
I'm thinking it was out by Independence Center, Bodie's, or then it was one of them. Anyway, they had 3 at each store. They had 2 stores in Kansas City, so there was 6 there. All this stuff was falling apart.
Yeah.
Okay, we were
So you're the guys that can fix them.
we were fixing them.
Okay.
Is what we were doing. We took a lot of interest. I took a lot of interest in that, and that helped me down the road. After seeing this pellet thing, when I seen this pellet thing, things changed.
Yeah.
I've really got my
So that's coming up.
yeah.
We're going to get into that because I've been learning a lot about that here in the last couple months.
That's why you're doing this interview.
That's right. So, all right. So hold on. So in the early 80s, you're working in the tunneling, and then you're also doing some side hustle trucking.
Well, that
And
was
you're-
I learning how to drive the truck and stuff because
Okay.
I was just helping this guy working on his equipment.
Right, little side
so
hustle.
he would take me and let me drive the stuff around and was basically training me.
But your day job or whatever, in the evening, I don't know when you were working, tunneling in Kansas City?
Shoot, I was at Kenworth till '83. Then at that point, I ended up working for several different companies around Kansas City. I worked for a company that built aircraft refuelers. Was for probably a year and a half. That was before I went to work for Hydraulic Power Systems.
And were you welding at
Yeah,
those companies?
all this was I was doing welding and
okay.
fabricating.
Okay.
When I went to Hydraulic Power Systems, now kind of one of the offshoots of this story is I'm a huge dirt racing fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll be getting into that here shortly,
Well, this
too.
part of this little bit of this story. Okay.
What year did that happen? The very first one. You guys actually ended up winning, right?
Well, no, I'm just a dirt racing fan.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Where we lived back in the late 60s, I could hear Riverside Stadium running on Saturday night. And I would always beg my dad to take me down there.
Yeah.
And one time he took me to the races. And I
Yeah.
thought this was the shit.
Coolest shit ever.
Oh, yeah. I was in love with it right then and there.
Yeah.
But that's all he took me.
Going fast.
One time.
Fast.
Was
Eddie.
it. And I was always known to be hell on wheels because when when I was 2 years old, I had a pedal car that I would go back and forth on the porch on, they said, as fast as I could.
Just ripping that thing.
Yeah. That was a little story as a kid.
Yeah.
Over in the Mercington house.
Okay.
So, but then I got to go to the dirt races in the 60s one time, and I listened to them. I heard them every Saturday night, where.
So you're pretty young still then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was always, it was right behind Red X. They had this Kitty Land.
I remember.
Remember the Kitty Land down there?
No, I don't remember that. But I vaguely remember
Riverside Stadium.
Riverside Speedway out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Kitty Land was right next to it. And, of course, if you got these tickets from the ice cream man that came by, and, so we would get to go to Kitty Land. And a lot of times it was Saturday afternoon because my dad had all these jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guess what started happening Saturday afternoon? They opened the pits and started having hot laps and stuff down there at Riverside Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's like, Dad, we got to go to the race. No.
Yeah.
I only got to go one time. Was it, My mom had a bad experience with a guy that worked at Kenworth that had a race car and needed stuff fixed on it and had Dad do it. And she was all mad because he never paid her and all that stuff. But, so dirt racers or dirt bags.
Okay. I'll take you to see them guys.
Yeah, those are dirt bags.
Yeah.
And it was now as soon as I got my driver's license, guess where I was every Saturday night?
Yeah, down at the
I was at Riverside
Speedway.
Stadium. Yeah, 100%.
Riverside Stadium. Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge dirt racing fan.
And so you're probably trying to figure out a way to get down there
Every chance I
on
get.
the track.
Well,
in a car.
I love sitting in the stands. I love watching.
Okay.
So
that was your first taste, though, of like racing and dirt racing.
I'm a huge dirt racing fan to this day.
Yeah.
Late model sprint cars, really sprint cars I had a midget at one time myself.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I'm getting back. Let's get to this guy I worked for.
Okay.
When I went to Hydraulic Power Systems, I went to work, and the guy that was managing the shop and part owner of the building and stuff was a guy by the name of Gene Jeniton. And Gene was a sprint car and midget racer from Kansas City. And he lived about a little over half a mile south of me.
And he was a customer of...
No, he was the guy managing the business or running the shop at Hydraulic Power Systems I went to work at.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Matter of fact, I got the job because a fella that I was involved with, Junior Parkinson, was a sprint car racer. My dad actually worked with Junior Parkinson. One of his part-time jobs was he was welding wheels for Weld Wheels down on Truman Road.
Yeah.
And Junior came by the house one time.
They're still there.
Weld Wheels is still in business to a certain extent. It's changed hands, all kinds of things. There's lots of stories about that. But Greg Weld was an Indianapolis racer. His whole family was big-time dirt racers and all that, Of course, my eyes just go boom, when you start talking about welds, and the Kansas City connection.
So what year was this now? You go to work for this guy?
85.
Okay.
84. Between 84 and 85, right in there, I go to work with Gene at Hydraulic Power Systems.
All right.
So anyway, I get into helping Gene. Gene built race cars too at home. He built midgets.
Okay.
He's a big midget racer.
Wow. Okay.
And I actually would go weld up midget chassis with Gene. We'd get off of work there, go home, eat dinner, and I'd take off and I'd head down to Gene's house and help him work with him on building midgets and also helping him maintain his midget car. And I'd go racing with him once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
So Gene left Hydraulic Power Systems, and I ended up following him. He went to work for Kansas Tunneling. Mike Smith, who owned Kansas Tunneling.
Okay.
So then
that's just a few years later then, or a couple years later.
Yeah. That's how I got into the tunneling deal, was because of Gene Jeniton. I will have to tell you this. That is one of the smartest men I've ever been around.
Really?
Was Gene Jeniton. That guy was amazing. He was all self-trained. He had an engineering mind like you wouldn't believe. He ended up starting Ozark Barge and Dock Service down at the Ozarks. When Gene went to Ozark Barge and Dock, that's when I left Kansas Tunneling and went to the Kansas City Fire Department. I had an opportunity
Yeah.
to go with Gene. And I've had a lot of other opportunities around, but
Frank was probably, your
Well-
father-in-law is probably kind of, was he pushing you a little bit to get in there?
I worked, well, early in our marriage, I worked a little bit as a millwright out of Dallas, Texas for Able Machinery Movers when I got laid off one time at Kenworth. And that was a really good job. Matter of fact, the guys that I worked with down there retired as executives with that company, really. And that was maybe one of those jobs I probably maybe should have stuck with too, but I got a wife.
Never look back, Ed.
I know I got a wife at home, in Kansas City and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But those guys are making pretty good money.
I believe that every little piece of our life is meant to be.
Yes.
And they just add that little, and if it's just a little brief thing, it's just adding that little bit of salt to our life to make it a little more savory.
There's no doubt. I mean, there's always a higher power.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big believer in that. Everything happens for a reason. So
you come back from Texas, and then so Frank he's
when I'm in doing the tunneling work, where we moved up here at Platte Woods, outside of Platte Woods, there, I was on 76th and Millray. We bought that house in 1984.
okay.
The day we moved into that house, I got my walk-in papers from Kenworth Truck Company
Oh,
at a 10% mortgage rate.
ouch.
Okay. And
That's exciting.
I doubled my payment. Okay. I went from a $34,000 house to a $68,000 house.
oh my gosh.
Okay. You're a realtor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand all
Oh
this.
yeah. I understand 10% interest rates too.
Yeah. Oh, it's freaking killer,
Yeah.
dude. You
Yeah.
know?
And they'd actually come down by then.
Oh,
They were at 18 to almost 20% in the early 80s.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But go on.
Yeah. So I'm
So you're working at Kenworth, and you're like, let's go get a new house.
you got to you understand my hustle mentality.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not one to set still. That's why I don't set still to this day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm freaking trained.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
What have you said? What?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Right. Let's move. Fast Eddie.
Yeah.
He's always moving.
So, what a crazy, you're really drawing the shit out. You know that? Wait a second.
That's
Here.
my job.
We might have to break another one out here shortly.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So
You're at Kenworth, married for, so this was 84, you said. Is that right?
yeah,
About 84.
Now
You're
first
married for 5 years.
Okay, let's walk back a little bit.
All right.
Okay. My wife is an angel. All right.
Yes, she is.
To put up with me, we married in October 27th, 1979. Now, the time we got married, I was off-road racing. Okay, I was involved in buggies and stuff. I told you, remember?
Okay.
I
Well,
love
yeah, that's
buggies.
what I was trying to place that in the timeline
let me,
here.
I'm so trained not to talk about it very much because she hates it. Okay.
She hates you talking about the
No, she doesn't
dirt
like
racing
she,
and the buggy
no,
racing?
she does not like my racing very well. But this is okay.
Well, okay.
I loved off-road racing. I loved my buggies. Okay. And
Yeah.
how I got involved, my dad helped my neighbor build a couple of tube buggies back in the mid-'70s.
Okay.
That's where I got infected with, messing with, I loved riding around in those things. And
Yeah,
then in high school, I actually had one.
Open air,
I had my own, I built one.
off-road, on-road.
My senior year of high school, I had a tube buggy.
Okay.
Okay. Besides a 73 Chevy pickup.
All right.
Okay. That was all tuned up really well. And then of course I had the job at the local Skelly station.
Yeah, you told me
in
some
North
stories
Kansas.
about the Chevy pickup.
Oh
too.
yeah. That thing was freaking fast.
We won't go into it.
Yeah, we won't go into that. But so I was messing with the buggies and things, and then I got into racing buggies, and then in '79 is when I bought a Funko SS2 single seat off road race car chassis and built that car up. Okay, and we're doing some short course racing around the Midwest. And then, but
You and your brother,
yeah,
right?
my brother was racing with me, and we were doing 1200s. Okay, that was 40 horse stuff. We'd go to Oklahoma. I mean, it was very limited cars. Okay,
Yeah.
But because I couldn't afford the big stuff, the big open stuff. But then I got
It's
in.
still fun. You're getting,
Oh well, yeah, I was learning a lot.
yeah, cutting your teeth.
Cutting our teeth,
Yeah.
you bet.
Yeah.
And I tore up a ton of shit. I mean,
Oh,
we went to.
I'm sure it's not very hard to tear up a 40 horse engine.
Well, we went to a 300-mile race at Zink's Ranch down in Oklahoma, and I had 8 spare tires and wheels on the trailer, and every one of them come home flat.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Jeez.
That's from hitting too much shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I led the race for 275 miles out of 300 and broke a transmission.
Oh my God.
And I was 25 minutes ahead of him in the field. So that's how heavy-footed I was. I mean,
Yeah.
I just beat the shit out of stuff.
Yeah.
In 1981 is when I had an open motor we built, and we went to the Mint 400 in
Okay.
Las Vegas, Nevada, which was the largest off-road race in the United States. Was the Mint 400? That was the cream of the racing.
Where was it again? You said
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas. Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Mint 400.
Mint
Anybody
400.
can look it up. Mm-hmm. That day there
You're
was.
still in the papers.
Oh, I'm in the papers. I'm on the record books.
Yeah.
Okay, so they had 83 cars in Class 1. I was
Okay.
racing Class 1 at that time.
All right.
Okay, and my buddy, this guy I used to race against, and we became friends and stuff. My brother had a 20-foot car trailer, and we were able to stack those 2 cars. I made these ramps where we could stack the front ends over each other.
Okay.
Okay, we looked like the Beverly Hillbillies going across country. You know,
You got pictures of that
Oh,
stuff?
I should have somewhere. I
Somewhere?
thought
we
God,
might have to dig them out
I
and put
don't-
them in as a
I
little
don't-
bit of B-roll.
I don't know. I don't think we can find them. But,
We could find that newspaper clipping though, because I think you showed me a picture of that.
well, yeah, I've got the Mint magazine. Okay,
Okay.
because Walker Evans passed away
All right.
this last month, and the Off-Road magazine had an inside article. You had to wait 4 months for the magazines to come out
Jeez.
before you start reading about
Yeah.
the race you were in.
Oh, my
okay,
gosh.
and so the Mint
1981.
1981.
Okay.
Walker Evans is a quarter. He's half the page of the inside article. You get to the Mint 400, and a quarter of that page at the bottom is me in my Funko SS2.
Nice.
That was a big freaking
Big
deal.
deal. That was a huge deal.
That was a big deal.
Well, especially with your background and how much you love and the love that you had for it and racing the smaller cars and then to get to go to do something like that. And
Well, I got to go to the Mint Gun Club and get our awards, and that was a major ordeal. That becomes
and you're only what, 23, 24?
no, I'm 21. See, 83. No, it's 81. So I'm only 22, maybe
22.
21, 22 years old.
Okay.
Right
Yeah.
there. My brother,
You were married in 79, right?
79.
20 or are you
21. So I'm 23. Okay.
Yeah, 23.
My brother wasn't
Okay.
even 21 at the time.
Wow.
And he's having the time of his life drinking at the bars and stuff. Nobody's card
Yeah, right.
down there. And,
Well, plus early 80s.
And you got
it's a little
all-
bit more lenient back
but you
then.
got all these racers in downtown Las Vegas.
Yeah,
the
just
place
having a
is
ball.
packed.
Oh, they're probably just-
it's wall to wall.
Yeah,
I mean,
hooting it up,
you
man.
could not believe the day that we do tech for our cars in Las Vegas. It is elbow to elbow in downtown on the big street. Now it's all
Jeez.
covered with the big
yeah.
overhead deal.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as big.
Well,
back
it's right in front
then.
there in the front
But
of the
it's
Mint
still
and the
big.
horseshoe
I mean, it was
and all.
big.
Okay, so you teched your car, and then I started 80. I started 86. My buddy Kenny started 84, and once you went through tech, your car got impounded. And
Okay.
so they have a circular parking lot behind the Mint.
Okay.
Okay, that's where your car went, in the parking stall was numbered.
Yeah.
and that's where you put your
You
car.
didn't get to touch it after
You
that.
didn't get to
so
touch it.
nobody's modifying it.
Right.
After
Once
they
you
got,
left, that car was impounded.
Gotcha.
And you had to be in that car by 6:30 the next morning because they lined you up and you drove out Las Vegas Boulevard to what they call the Speedrome, which
Okay.
is now where the Las Vegas Motor Speedway is.
Wow.
Okay, and
So
that's
a
where
big deal. They're letting.
it was one of the.
huge.
It's huge.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
huge.
this
It's like
is
Everybody in Vegas knows what's going on.
This is the World Series of off-road racing.
Yeah.
Right
This
here.
is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the streets are
You're
lined.
23. Your brother's not even 21 yet.
No, and
you're
and
like,
the streets are lined with people
Yeah.
all the way out there, the whole bit, you
Yeah.
know? And so the speedrome's where you start. And matter of fact, I was at my old buddy Kenny's house the other night, and we talked about that story where me and him standing there, the back of our cars waiting in line. We're not even, you know, they're still lining freaking 500 cars up, you know?
Kenny's your brother?
No, Kenny, the guy other guy's car who we took out there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Kenny Warburton.
What's your brother's name?
John.
John. Okay.
So we're standing there, and this guy comes by. It's Mickey Thompson.
Okay.
Anybody ever heard the freaking name Mickey Thompson?
Yeah.
Okay, is synonymous with anything in motorsports in this freaking world. Okay, and Mickey comes by and he stops, and he says, "Hey, don't get in my freaking way. I'll run your ass over." Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to make damn sure he intimidated us.
Yeah.
And he's driving this
Getting in your
overgrown.
head.
He's starting behind us in this overgrown looking sprint car looking thing, okay, that he's designed. And this was excuse me, I think it's the first or second year of that car.
He started behind you?
Oh, he started behind us. Yeah. And of course, he come by like lightning. Okay. I mean,
Right away.
not well down the ways a little bit,
Okay.
you know, because when you looked off to the side, there's a helicopter flying just about ground level next to you,
Yeah.
and they're filming Mickey.
Yeah.
Is what they're doing, and he's off to the other side of you, just ripping. Okay,
Yeah.
But you know what? 5 minutes later,
Here you come.
no, there's Mickey sitting off the side, broke.
Oh. Ripping a little too hard.
Yeah, that's Mickey.
Yeah.
And off we go, waving.
Oh, man. Good thing we didn't get in your way.
Yeah, I didn't get your way, dude.
Slowed him down.
I want to slow
He
your
might have
ass
stayed-
down.
Yeah.
I want you to do all the speed you can do.
Just rip as fast as you can.
And that's off-road racing.
Yeah,
okay,
right,
you know,
yeah.
how much can you use your stuff up?
Yeah.
Mickey was good at it, you know. So, and we knew it.
God. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We'll
stay out of your
see
way.
you later.
Go right ahead.
Go right ahead.
So you start at 86. You go down Vegas Boulevard and start to race.
Yeah.
Mickey's there.
Oh.
He doesn't wreck, but his stuff breaks down.
Well, okay. Now remember, this is before cell phones.
oh,
This
yeah.
is before GPS. This is before all this stuff. The course is marked with sticks and arrows.
Jeez.
We went out and did a little pre-running. We only got 25 miles a piece in. We got out to the 50-mile mark.
And how long is the race?
100. It's 100 miles a lap.
All right.
100 miles a lap.
A lap, and you got to
4
do it
laps. And so we loaded the car up before we used it up and brought it back and put it in, impound. We put it away.
Yeah.
Is what we did and made sure everything was good.
Yeah.
We only had one pit. You know, how in the world did these guys pull this off? We did not have extra pits out around through the course. And to follow your car.
How many on average did the other racers have, especially the ones with some money? I mean,
Probably every 20, 25 miles.
they got guys.
They've got people
Ready
sitting out
to-
there with tires and stuff and tools
Rip
and
the
parts.
tire out. Okay.
and pieces.
And you guys had one,
We got the start finish.
the start finish.
That's it.
So you had to go 100 miles before you got a pit again.
Yeah. Before we'd see our help. Okay.
All right. And so you got to do that 3 times.
Right. Fourth time
The
is
fourth
is
time's
checkered.
over.
So I drove the first lap. My brother drove the second. I drove the third. And he drove the fourth. So I come in on the third lap. And I don't know where it was at. But I ended up losing a tire finally on the right rear. Okay. So I'm on the wheel.
Yeah.
I didn't carry a spare. Neither. Back in the day, carrying spares wasn't too common. So I come in on the wheel, did the speed drum, and of course you should have seen the cameras come
my
out
gosh,
and stuff.
yeah.
You know. And we get to this. You had this chicane set up. It's on the back, coming down the back drag strip.
What
the back
lap was
way.
that?
On the third lap when I
Okay,
come
third
in.
lap, you're on the wheels off. I mean, the tires off.
Yeah, I'm on the
You're
wheel.
on the wheel.
I'm on the wheel.
What place were you in? Do you know?
I got no clue. Didn't matter at that time.
Yeah, you're just so focused
I'm just
on
focused
going
on
fast, not
Well,
breaking stuff.
not breaking, trying to get laps in is what I'm focused on,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
And so I get it to the pit, and we get a tire put on, and I get out of the car, and I'm getting my stuff off, and my brother's getting in, and I look around there, and the engine cage is gone, and the skid plate's hanging down on the ground. So we get it jacked up, get bolts put back in it, get it back up to where at least it's not dragging on the ground. Okay. And we've got help there because we got both teams, John Swander and Kenny and his group, and me and my brother. And that, so there's a group of us there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling John, I'm going, hey, you can't take a shot in the back in the headers. Out there, when you go to pass somebody, it's pretty common you'd bump them first before you'd pass them, let them know you're there.
Okay.
You know?
They don't even know.
Sometimes bumping turned into slamming, and we'd been slammed a bunch.
That's why your cage is
That's
missing.
why the cage is gone.
Gotcha.
Okay. And the last one that hit me was Walker Evans.
Okay.
Because I got past Walker. He hit me and went by me, and nobody had hit me until I passed Walker in what they called the rock garden. He's in this Class 8 truck out there just crawling along. And, of course, us lightweight buggies, we're dancing across
floating across
We're
that.
floating across that shit,
Yeah.
And so nobody had gotten past me since Walker had hit me. So Walker was the last one that hit me, and I know he was the one that took the engine cage off, on the car.
Yeah.
I finally got to talk to Walker about that situation in 2015.
Oh, really?
God bless Walker. He just passed away in August. Okay.
2015. So that's God. So that's 26 years later.
26 later, I have a conversation in the hotel there in La Paz. I was running the Nora 1000 with Larry Ragland.
Shoot, no, that's 36 years later.
Yeah.
That would have been 36
Yeah.
years.
So, John, I told him, I said, look, dude, you see any lights behind you, get the hell out of the way. You can't take a shot. I would not have given him big odds to showing up.
Just to even make it back around.
But
Yeah.
how you followed your car was, remember the multi-band radios? You could adjust and listen to different bands of things.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, we had a multi-band radio, and there was a certain band that all the checkpoints were on.
Okay.
And what they do, the checkpoints at a certain given time, like every 10 or 15 minutes, they would say, this is check one, cars, and they started numbering off the cars that went through that checkpoint.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you'd hear check two, car such.
And every time you heard his name,
So
or
you
was
would
it
have
a number that was
numbers. They're car numbers.
They wouldn't say name. They
No,
say
it's just car numbers.
car numbers.
So you had somebody sitting by the radio with a watch or a clock and a map. Okay, so they knew where you were on the map between what point to what point.
And how many checkpoints were there? You said
I think there was probably 5 or 6.
Okay.
Around the course out
Okay.
there.
every 20 miles. Or so.
Yeah, or so.
Okay.
So you're trying to figure out where your car's at.
Yeah.
Is what you're trying to figure out. Okay, how are we cutting along here?
Right.
Yeah. And so after he cleared the last checkpoint, my brother did is like, holy shit, we got a chance of finishing this thing.
Yeah.
Finishing.
I mean, you're just hoping.
Just finishing.
Finishing would be great.
Oh, I can't tell you some of the most brutal stuff you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Just ripping.
right. So,
But I want to go back just for a second on every time you heard that checkpoint,
it's like,
you heard that number. He made it.
we'd kind of look at each other and go, holy shit.
He's made it. He made
He's-
it.
holy
And the
shit.
last one, I mean, I can
When you hear
imagine the adrenaline. You're just
you
like,
hear the last one. It's like, he could be in here in 20 minutes. It's like, he could be here in 20 minutes.
yeah,
He could be here in 20 minutes.
last one.
And it was like, holy cow, we got to go down the start finish line and wait. Now, Kenny and the guys that were with us, they were 15 minutes ahead of us in finish. So we were sitting there listening to that radio. They were already gone. That crew.
Okay.
Okay, so we're
Their
all
crew.
together.
They're
Their
like,
crew.
we're going down.
We're heading
We
down.
heard us.
We're heading down the start finish.
go.
It's like, holy shit.
Well, maybe we should go.
After I heard that through the last checkpoint, we had no reason to stay until, to go through there and see if he shows up.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't show up, then we're going to have to go out in the middle of the night in the desert and try to figure out where the hell he's at.
Yeah, I freaking love this story right now so much because it's so hard for the younger people to understand. There's no video cameras out there. Not everybody's broadcasting, live streaming.
Oh, no.
This is one of the biggest races in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, this
is like
the
one of
tens
the
of-
biggest races.
tens of thousands of people that
and
came
maybe occasionally in the day there might be a helicopter following one guy.
in. When you got a stature of Mickey Thompson.
Right, but you're not seeing that all the time.
Oh no,
There's not like a live helicopter following all these cars, right?
no. There was, what was the Wide World of Sports was a big deal back in the day.
Right.
They didn't even start picking up air footage of these races until right about that time frame. Somewhat. In the early '80s and things, you'd hear Wild World of Sports would do a deal on off road and mostly Mexico or something.
Yeah.
The big because everybody heard of the Baja.
Yeah.
The Baja
they were just getting
1000.
footage throughout the day, and then they would report on it later in the night, the news channel, or,
Right, yeah.
or ABC.
Yeah, it's nothing like this. I mean, with Starlink
Like
now,
today-
I can go on and watch these guys getting ready to run the Baja 400.
And watch the whole thing all day.
I've got trucks I can switch in channels back and forth and watch it in cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I mean, this is unbelievable what
Right.
you can do nowadays.
Yeah, compared to that,
Yeah.
you're in the race, and you still have to be like, oh, we just heard our name come across the last checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean,
we're
was-
going to go down to see if we even make it.
See if he shows up.
It's crazy,
no.
I mean, compared to where we're at today, the technology, it's just insane.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother. That's what I love it. All right, so
Well, anyway,
so you heard your name come across the last checkpoint.
Yeah, and
you
then-
heard or your number.
John and Kenny and
And
them
you're like,
come
"Let's
in.
go."
And there was only maybe one or two cars. It wasn't in our class that came in between us. And I don't even know if they were coming in on their third lap. I can't even remember that. They weren't coming in for the checkered.
Okay.
I think they might have got the green to go on.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh crap! Okay, so you're so far ahead. They're still.
We're looking for the checkered.
I'm trying to put it straight in my head too. There's other classes as well.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
that are finishing.
There's 521 cars took the green flag. 521 cars.
You saw 10 other cars come across the line before, or 9 other cars come across the line before you saw your brother
Right.
coming across that line.
Right. Out of 83.
Out of 83 cars.
Yeah.
That had to have been just so exhilarating.
Well, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, that you were,
to
even finish. I mean, you're just like, we're just hoping we're going to finish. And then
Well,
to
that
come
was
in
the
10th
goal to
place.
begin with, but then to be in the top and get
Top
to go
10.
and then get to go up on stage at the gun club the next day. 10th place is where you got to start to go up on stage
Okay.
for that class.
Yeah,
It was like, holy shit.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's super.
That was cool. It was very cool.
It's very cool. I mean, especially for a 23-year-old kid. I mean, you're just like,
Right. So that's, I don't play to lose anything I do.
Right.
I like to play to win.
this is your competitive nature. Your,
right.
all or nothing.
My background.
Blow and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why we're talking about this stuff, guys. We're trying to introduce you to Ed. So when you're watching Pellet Cooker University, that you have a little bit more background on who he is and what he's done and what really gives him the credibility to talk about the stuff that he talks about. And this is just like he's so multi-layered, guys, that this is just the beginning. This we're really just starting to break the ice on kind of some of the cornerstones that make Ed who he really is. So you win the Mint
10th, but that's a win for me.
That'd be a win to me.
Coming from
Top 10 out of 83,
Gene Calvin.
86.
Gene Calvin was impressed enough to write a really nice article about us in Hot BWs and all. She'd met us a couple of years earlier in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and she'd met these guys from Kansas City. She wrote a really, really nice article about us.
Very cool.
And she was one of the top writers for off-road.
We'll try to send a link to that. I'm sure it's online somewhere.
I don't know if it is
it's
or not.
We'll put it online. We'll make sure we get it online.
I can put a picture of the article in the. I've still
Yeah.
got the magazines,
Sure.
obviously.
Then that's what we'll do.
And I
Yeah.
posted up when Walker passed away. Everybody was doing kudos to Walker, obviously.
Yeah.
And I said,
And that was just
this last month.
Wow.
And I put a picture up. But when I got to meet him personally, I had Larry. I said, hey, we were having breakfast in La Paz at the hotel, and we were staying together at the same hotel. And I said, would you introduce me to Walker? Because Larry and Walker were pretty good buddies. And Larry said, sure. And he introduced me. And I said, hey, I've been always wanting to meet you. I said, but I got a bone to pick with you. And he just laughed and he says, "Get in line, brother." Here's a whole lot of others that do too. So I told him what happened. He just laughed. You know, he got a big kick out of it, you know. I says, that was one of the greatest things in my life. So
That's great.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great that you got to meet him all those years later.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, he's the guy he's an innovator. He owned a bunch of stuff. If you look up Walker Evans, I mean, what he did in the off-road world is just incredible.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate for all the things that I have done and all the really cool people that I've gotten to be around and all. It's been such a grace thing. You know, I can't tell you.
Total blessing.
Yeah,
for sure.
You bet. But I'm still a huge dirt racing fan around, you know, and I go to all the sprint car races.
That's an 84. You're working underground.
I'm working with
trucking,
working with
you're
Genetton.
welding. You're building. All of a sudden, you build this gigantic smoker for your neighbor.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you get he invited you to the American Roll Barbecue.
Yes. And we teamed up, become Dude's Barbecue, and we cooked.
You teamed up with that guy, that neighbor.
We ended
What's
up.
his name again?
Neil Van Hoosier.
Neil Van Hoosier. Okay.
And so then we had this team, Dude's Barbecue.
Dude's Barbecue.
And the reason why it became Dude's Barbecue is we'd sit around, you know, cooking and drinking. It's like, hey, dude. Hey, dude.
Dude was big back in the mid 80s. Dude was the thing.
Hey, dude. You know? Yeah, so it was Dude's Barbecue.
Dude's Barbecue. All
And,
right.
and we had our own business cards, okay? And one of the things I had to do, because Eric, my buddy, Eric Danner, he's a printer, and I had him print them. And what I did was I put a thumbprint, a red thumbprint on the edge of the card, like you'd be holding it to hand it to somebody. So that was like a sauce print.
That's great.
People loved it.
Yeah,
I had a
sure.
guy, I can't remember, it was probably 3 or 4 years ago, ran into me. And
Dude's Barbecue.
and he had to show me that card.
He still had it.
He still had it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a riot.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's genius marketing too. It's like you got the barbecue sauce thumbprint on it. That is so cool. That's funny.
Kind of interesting. So, you know, the barbecue became a big deal, and cooking at the fire station gave me a chance to practice the craft.
Yeah.
Okay. We had this thing at the fire station where you know, for your food for the day, we called it a cook shack.
Huh.
Believe it or not. Whoever was cooking, there was usually a flat rate, you know, so it'd be $8 or $9 or $10. You know, that gets you 2 meals.
Okay.
So it'd either be breakfast and dinner or lunch and dinner or whatever, you know. So then the rig went to the station or went to the store and bought food for the day. And we pretty much became synonymous about getting the Wednesday ads out of the paper and looking to see what was on sale.
Some coupons, save some money.
Yeah. So usually what you were going to eat was what was ever going to be on
The
sale.
cheapest stuff on the
You know, but it was,
or
you know,
on sale.
Yeah, we're thrift shoppers, you know. And so I found out pretty quick in my fire department career, other than the captain at the station, the next most powerful person in that station was the cook. You didn't screw with the cook.
Yeah.
Okay. Period.
Right.
Okay. I'm promise you, I don't care how old or how long he's been on or whatever.
Probably still the same today. I imagine.
I can't believe it's not.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to eat good, and that guy you did not jack with that guy.
Yeah.
Because of I've heard stories, and I'm not particularly seen it myself, but I've heard stories of the cook getting up, picking up your plate, and throwing it in the trash if you got a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So do not.
Then you don't eat.
Don't screw with the cook at the station. So I thought that's pretty cool, you know. And also too, these guys are paying for me to practice. So I would tow my smoker to work back in the early days.
Yeah.
And then even built smokers at work, because one guy had a welder and stuff. And we built a smoker at the fire station there in Westport and all.
Amazing.
I mean, yeah. So, it became culture. I helped develop the barbecue culture in Kansas City, and then get into the pellet cooker thing and all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget. I had a cooker I shipped someplace, and it got screwed up in freight, and it crashed, and they got shipped back to me.
Okay.
And it was like, oh shit, I got a lot of money in this thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was on the pumper in 19s, and I took it to work with me, threw it in the back of my pickup. And I told the guys, I said, look, I mean, this thing's diamond. I mean, it's cattywampus and things. And I go, if we can straighten this thing out,
Donate it.
I'll donate it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was not given much credos to being able to fix this pit.
Yeah.
And
Because it was messed up.
I'll be damned if we didn't get the Hearst tool out
They're like,
and the Porter Powers and sledgehammers and blocks and stuff like that. And we started pushing and pulling and all kinds of stuff on this pit. And I'll be damned if I didn't get that door just to swing shut and click.
Just like it was.
I mean, like it was
like it's new.
Yeah, it had a little crunch on the back of it, but I got this thing all straightened out.
Didn't change the flavor of the food.
No, and didn't mess up the inside of it one bit. It had a little dingage on the outside of it, you know. But
So that was one of your cookers that you made later on.
actually
You said this was late 90s.
yeah, this was late 90s. I actually had a company called Rusco.
All right, so this is my job right here. Is we got to pull you back.
Pull me back. Okay.
We got to pull you back.
We're going to take time out
All right, time out.
for him to pull me back because I got, there's things that got to happen.
Okay, so that's my job, Ed, pulling you back here a little bit. Let's recap real quick what we were talking about. We already talked about your early childhood, your first taste of racing. You got married in 79. Your early race milestone, you won or you got 10th place in the Mint 400. Where did you get Fast Eddie? Where did that nickname come from?
Oh, boy. Well, like I mentioned, I was, especially through high school and once I've got my driver's license, I'd already been messing with buggies and stuff off the road, but I was hell on wheels on the road. And I did a very good job of keep from getting tickets, but I think I had every cop north of the river hating me.
Yeah, you told me some stories about that maybe we won't go into.
We won't go. We don't have to go into them, but I definitely
there was a little racing involved, a little street racing.
Oh yeah, aggravating the public. There was no doubt about that. So
okay, Fast Eddie,
and then I had one fella. I had classes with him, and he was a motorcycle racer. He raced dirt bikes and motocross, and he was really pretty good around town, and Dave Osborne was his name. And Dave claims he's the one that hung Fast Eddie on me. So when we got into barbecue, everybody kind of had a nickname. So we had
Dude's Barbecue.
So we got these shirts. Neil had these shirts made, and our names were on our sleeve. Okay. Well, I look at mine, it says Fast. Of course, everybody called me Hey Fast. It was not Eddie. It was just Hey
Just
Fast.
Okay.
Hey Fast.
All right.
So it actually got shortened up
Yeah.
to Hey Fast.
Fast.
All
right.
Yeah, that's and many people never knew what my real name was.
They just thought you were fast.
Were Fast Eddie. I always felt like it's a badge of honor, especially if you got something that's kind of a neutral name or something that's kind of clingy. But it's a badge of honor to get hung with a nickname. And it hung on me even through the fire department really hard. You say Fast Eddie, and it's just like, oh, yeah, now that's a memorable name.
So we've already kind of talked a little bit about, but not really a whole lot about the birth of pellet cookers.
Okay, yeah, this kind of bleeds into that. So when I started my own barbecue team, and breaking off and wanted to do
from Dude's Barbecue.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you going to call it?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, run with the one that brung you. And that's why it was called Fast Eddie's, because everybody knew me as Fast Eddie.
Right. So this is your own barbecue team.
So now I'm starting my own team with my own team name. And then when I started messing with the cookers because of my team name on it, now what are you going to call them?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, keep running with the one that brung you.
Yeah.
So that's why it got called Fast Eddie's.
And you had some tremendous victories with people that you helped get started in their first contest. And those are actually going to be coming up, guys. Yeah, we've already done some interviews of the people that we brought them on. One's from the UK. Who is that other one? There was another one that you did.
Lenny Cassiopo's from, he's moved now. He moved to Tennessee, but he was in Bradenton, Florida. And
Oh yeah, the Florida.
then him.
story.
There was two guys. Well, actually, the one fella moved from Colorado to Florida. He Jerry Smith is his name.
Okay.
And gosh, I remember their names, but I don't even remember their team names.
Now we haven't brought Jerry on.
No, we
yet.
haven't brought Jerry on.
We got to get him on.
Yeah, that would be pretty good to get Jerry on, and Lenny would probably come on.
Okay.
He's a very successful business person. He had a big ophthalmologist practice down there. I mean, he's a very successful guy. He's retired.
That's what his podcast is all about. And like we talked about earlier, the industry and teaching you about the people, how they got started and where they're at now. And some really fascinating people coming up on some future podcasts. But let's go into your competing and your innovations and how that competition. You got your team. You're a stick guy, right?
Well, I mean,
stick burner.
At
that time.
Well, when I first with dudes, we were cooking on mostly sticks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're playing around with charcoal and things,
Okay.
and you're trying to find
the different mediums, but you hadn't really.
I hadn't locked into something necessarily. I had the offsets, but when I seen this deal with pellets, with the background working on commercial stuff and my mindset's all over the place, messing with that pellet grill, and it was like, oh my God.
And you saw Bob, right?
Yeah,
he was the first one.
He was the one that introduced me to it.
Yeah.
And when I
and that was early '90s, right?
Yeah, that was early.
Like 90,
I'm pretty sure it was
91.
April of '90.
Okay.
And then it was a couple months later in June of '90 when we ran across each other again there in Des Moines, and he says,
and there's some fun stories there, guys, too, that we bring Bob on here.
He's already been done.
That's right. He was our first interview. So
you guys have seen that one.
Yeah, you should see that. If you're watching this one as your first one that you've been introduced to Ed,
you need to
go back and watch Bob Robinson.
He is number one.
He was the number one Ed.
We did that to try to get a baseline of why Pellet Cooker University has its birth.
Yeah. What's this all about? And what direction do we want to go?
What direction do we want this to go?
Okay,
we're
cool.
trying to find the life of this thing is what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And that's why we wanted to introduce you guys to Ed second, because we really want you guys to understand Ed and how complex and layered his rich history is.
That's why you're doing the interview and sitting here trying to monologue it.
Yeah, sit there talk about yourself. It's just so
hard to
do that.
Oh
anyway.
my gosh, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. So, I just think it's important for people to get to know you and how you have the authority to talk about pellets and pellet cookers because you were there at the beginning.
Well, I'm the guy that took an idea that was actually almost like locked in a safe and held extremely hard from people because Joe Traeger, he fended everybody off that wanted to mock it and make something like it. Okay. Yeah. But I said, and with my meeting Bob and him becoming a manufacturer for them, and then understanding where Traeger's mind was, and my mind coming from the automotive industry and looking at guys like Carroll Shelby and folks like that who would take products that are on the marketplace and saying they need more performance. That's what I'm doing in the barbecue world.
Right.
Okay. I am.
You're taking the Mustang, the stock Mustang, and then modifying it to be totally badass.
Right.
Yeah.
And I could not, and I cooked on it for a while. Okay. I mean, I cooked on those Traegers for a couple years.
Did you?
And my mind in this commercial world and seeing how these airflows and all that stuff going, and I'm looking at this pellet grill and I'm going, this thing's awful. And it really just didn't get the flavor I needed and I wanted and all that stuff. So I was going to have to.
But you saw the potential in it.
I felt like there was potential at that time. Okay. And that's why I went to working with it. And because it just wasn't producing what I thought it should produce. And this is the biggest knock on the pellet grill is it just doesn't get enough flavor, and I get it. I understand it. And I figured that out way back in 1990. And so that's why the development of something different and make it different
Yeah.
Make it a true smoker oven. That's why, a Fast Eddie's a true smoker oven. A Traeger pellet grill is not. Not back in that day, for sure.
Well, and that's what I wanted to touch on just real quick, was, establishing that credibility. I mean, here you come from cooking and learning how to be a cook,
right,
and understanding the dynamics of making great flavors and bringing great flavors together.
But then I had to bring my fabrication skills
and then you
it.
have your fabrication skills.
And then looking at other industries and parallels and how can I move this forward?
Yeah.
Those things.
So early 90s, you're introduced to pellet cookers, and then you start figuring out how you can make them better.
Right.
And then
and then also too, I wanted to up my game by understanding, if I'm going to go out here and play this game, okay, you better understand every aspect of it. So I'd met a lot of people.
I think it speaks testament to your competitive nature.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
You got to know every piece of that race car if you want to win the race.
You got to know the rules of the game.
You got to know the rules.
Okay, racing's won around the edges of the rules.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's some gray, you push the gray.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that industry, and of course, met a lot of good people. I got voted on too. A chance came up for a spot on the KCBS board of directors in '92 by one
Kansas City Barbecue Society
Yeah.
board of directors.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've gotten to meet a lot of these people, and it was like, yeah, you ought to run. And by golly, I got voted in.
Very good.
And so now I'm on the inside of things, kind of,
Okay.
and what's coming up, and also helping try to steer direction of this.
So now you're not just understanding the rules; you're helping shape the rules.
Well, yeah.
Is that what the barbecue
kind
society
of sort of?
did?
I also became a rep, so I would go score the contest too. And so now I'm getting into the mind of the judges, and I'm wanting to see what the judges
as
are.
a competitor. Are you still competing?
I was competing
as a board member on the barbecue society.
Yeah.
You can still compete.
Oh, you could still compete.
Yeah.
But I was also going around, repping the contest.
How long were you on the society on the board?
It's a 3-year term, and so I ran again in '95, which took me in through '98.
Okay, so you had about 6 years in
6 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very cool.
And at '98, I decided not to run anymore because I was really working on my business. That '97, I bought the building, and I started. And I just don't the time
the Heim building.
Yeah, just the time restraints there.
I understand that.
I needed to keep my focus in my business, and I was doing other fabricating work too at the time. See. And
not just on smokers.
I wanted to convert, but I hadn't converted yet.
Okay.
I was in the process of really getting deeply into a conversion idea. Something had to go. That had to go.
Gotcha. So, how'd you get into Cook Shack? Is that about that time? 98, 2000?
Well, not exactly. Let's go back to.
Okay.
I just getting started building and selling. In '98 is when I really decided to clean what my prototype looked like up.
All right.
And really try to make it look more commercial. Started using stainless steel and things on them. And also, too, I went to my first trade show. The Barbecuer magazine was just coming out. Too.
You had a business at that time?
I just started the business.
So it was not necessarily a fabrication business.
Yeah, it was a welding fabrication shop.
Okay.
That's what the Heim building became for me.
And so what was the name of that company?
It was, Ed Marin Welding at the time. So it didn't have much for customers other than some big corporate customers. I was doing stuff for Knapheide and shear truck equipment. I was basically doing things, big stuff my dad didn't want to do.
So your dad's still doing it at that time too?
Yeah, but he basically on the retirement side of just doing real small stuff. And
okay, and so you're kind of taking on the heavy lifting of that.
I seen the opportunity there of lots of things that he was passing up on.
Yeah.
And, you know, he didn't need anything help to be doing the repair work and the small stuff that he was doing, basically.
Yeah.
So it was like, nah, I need to move into this. And the need was way there, and I'm looking at, looking at tens of thousands of dollars that ain't being produced.
And you're a fireman still at that time.
Oh, yeah, I was on the fire
When
department.
did you retire from the fire department?
2006.
Okay, 2006. And so you're about halfway through your tenure at this time with the fire department.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am at that time. When
Yeah.
I got the Heim building, I was right at about halfway.
Yeah.
I thought my tenure was going to be longer, but
Yeah.
after 2 back surgeries, the fire department said, "You're done with suppression." And I needed that 24-hour shift because that's how my life was set up, you know. And also
24 on,
too,
48 off.
I was one of the first guys on the fire department to carry a laptop to work. I had a pager. I used calling cards from Sam's Club where you bought a penny a minute, you know,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And it was very conducive to, you know, business because I could talk East Coast in the morning. I could do, you know, a lot of the United States, or at least the central, you know, all during the day. And then if I had any West Coast customers and stuff, I was talking to those folks at night.
Yeah, so that was, I mean, obviously you have a pretty decent income as a fireman, but like
that paid the bills at home.
yeah,
Okay. The
but
fire
you're
department.
fabricating.
Yeah, that was all set up as a separate business. I mean, or separate entity. Shoot, I paid for my building in the first 4 months I was in it.
That's awesome.
You know?
So you were making pretty good money.
Well, yeah, I
doing
seen
that.
all kinds of stuff, you know, was being left on the table.
But then you used that opportunity as a fabricator to build your first prototype.
Oh yeah, I shut my shop down especially when I did the first rotisserie. I actually locked the doors and didn't do anything for 3 months other than strictly design, be chasing vendor parts all during the day while I was on the fire department, making phone calls, trying to get this, trying to get that, looking at different parts and pieces that I wanted to put on it. You know, it took me 3 months to build the first, we called it the FE 2000 at that time.
Okay.
And
it was a pellet cooker?
Oh yeah, actually
Yeah.
my relationship with Traeger was good enough. I said, look, I wanted to use one of your big burners that you have in your furnaces and put in there because it's 130,000 BTU,
Okay.
up to 130,000 anyway. And so I got their blessing. They sent me one. Actually, I got it from Bob because they had it up at even temp. And that's what I installed in that unit and fired it up on it. I don't even know if I even cooked on it. I might have cooked on it before. Once I got it up and running and stuff and felt like pretty good with it, I loaded it up and took it to Oregon
Okay.
because I want their blessing on this going down this commercial route.
Who's in Oregon?
Traegers. They're in
Traeger.
Yeah, they're in Mount Angel, Oregon.
But did they start reproducing it?
No. They had a restaurant out there, and I needed somebody to run this thing 24/7.
Gotcha.
Okay. Nobody else is going to buy into this pellet cooking thing for commercially, especially in my area,
Yeah.
to speak of. Competition guys, sure, I'm starting to sell some pits and things, but nobody's running the kind of volume that thing would crank out.
Right.
You know, now remember, my heart is in this commercial industry, totally. And it got to where my 100, what we called it, was paying my bills and keeping me in business. But man, I want to be.
You're fabricating these now.
Yeah, I'm the bit. Well, I got the first one done, and I send it down. You know, I take it out there, and they run it. You know.
Okay. For a year.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that year, it performed really well.
Yeah, and
everybody's real happy with
everything. There was no glitches to speak of.
This is the FE 200.
It was called the FE 2000.
2000. Okay.
Yeah, and one of the things that was interesting when I took it out there, and Joe's looking. He's never built something he can watch the fire in and cook.
Okay.
I found that real interesting. So he kept looking in that firebox door, you know, just looking at the fire. And I said, Joe, I really need to produce more smoke than what this is doing. I said, that big pot, it just doesn't smolder like a smaller unit does. And he goes, well, yeah, what you need to do is have smaller fires. Then it went click. You know, it's like, instead of having one big fire, you need smaller fires.
Two or three
Or three smaller fires.
Huh.
And that's why we got the stack and feed systems. And sure enough, now I'm starting to produce smoke like I want. And it made it a whole lot easier on the cycling of how you want to get it down to smoking is what it did. So I learned by being there with him and running this thing and the casual conversations we have, it's like, okay, now I'm getting it. Now this is, it's click.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so
yeah,
I come home and I start building stuff, building one that's got multiple units in it and the smaller systems in it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he was 100% right.
Now, you designed it. You built the first one. Did you start subcontracting the construction of them out?
Not of the big one. I got so busy with the smaller units, the 100 design, competition smoker, we called it, that, I started having job shops in Kansas City building parts and pieces for me because I got too busy. And it was getting to be a struggle. And I went ahead and got me in my next big one done. And then it was, how am I going to get these big ones off the ground? And, the commercial world, I wasn't going to be able to getting these listings to be able to go into buildings was going to be extremely tough. So a guy named Jim Woodsmall.
When you say getting the listings, that's getting
UL
them passed through the governmental.
Getting through the UL safety testing lab and then also NSF and all.
Gotcha.
It's a lot of money involved in that. And also, too, as you'll hear, we already done Stewart.
Yeah.
And, of course, Stewart mentions about that in that interview.
That's coming up in another interview, guys. Too,
yeah,
you'll want to watch that.
You'll want to watch that one and find out
how the government likes to withhold things until a little bit bigger players involved.
Well, but what you need to have for codes, you're not going to sell much for commercial unless you have all those ratings.
Yeah.
And there's a lot because going into that UL lab and all the different tests they put you through, it's especially 100% wood fired. The guys that are doing gas and logs got an exception because they just say they're gas cookers. I mean, that's another thing too. The Southern Prides and the Old Hickories of this world, they just using wood for flavor. And if you don't believe me, go look at their frickin' listings. They want to talk about their wood fired, but they're not a listed wood fired unit at all. Okay.
All right.
So that's
Is this getting pretty close to when you started making that relationship with Cook Shack?
one more little thing,
Okay.
because this is in that conversation we had with Stewart, but I've realized for me to get this commercial side of this business off, I'm going to have me a real commercial mobile trailer. And Jim Woodsmall was starting to build with S&S trailers out of Ankeny or somewhere in Iowa, outside the Des Moines area, these porch trailers. So I went ahead and ordered a porch trailer, a 14-foot kitchen with a 10-foot deck. They called them 1014s. That's what we called them.
Gotcha.
And then we had a relationship through my dad's business with Rusco Fabrication, who did tons of stainless work, and I had a custom built countertop that was L-shaped with the triple well sinks in it and all that, and I had this custom counter. It really looked cool. And then built out a catering trailer, and then you got to
And you put your smoker on the back of that?
Yes, but not only that, to show it as a viable business, I had to start a little catering business. Okay. Just like I've done with 451 Pizza. When you're trying to get these things off the ground, you got to be the guest. So I get into catering business. I'm building these trailers. I'm still doing my 100s. I'm on the fire department. I go 24/7.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm still trying to cook. I'm trying to still do some cook-offs.
Yeah, so for all you entrepreneurs out there that think you're going to get into a business and that's going to be the one thing that you do, you got another thing coming.
No, you got to live, eat, and breathe it.
You're going to have to be extremely, extremely versatile.
Well, first of all, you can be motivated and all that, but how do you keep that relationship together at home?
Yeah.
when you're not there a whole lot,
Yeah.
and you're spending money like water, and and she's doing the books.
Yeah.
And it's and I can't say enough about my partner in life,
Yeah.
Kathy.
Kathy.
I mean, it amazes me. Most women would see that much money flowing back and forth through their hands, or would want some, some kind of part of
Need
it,
a little bit of that.
or a lot of it, or whoever,
Yeah.
But you know what? She was an amazing business partner, and she understood and bought into the vision of what I was trying to achieve. And she seen there was no lack of effort, but that no lack of effort had to do with she didn't see me around a lot. She seen me on traveling a bunch.
And I've been down that road for sure, and it's tough.
And
It is tough.
an amazing woman to allow that to happen, not knowing, we obviously are.
It's coming in and going out, and so
well,
it's hard to believe that
obviously
it's
we're-
ever going to start piling up.
Oh yeah, obviously we're life partners.
You got to believe that, and
And
you got to have trust and faith that that's
trust and faith.
It's going to happen eventually.
Well, and it's just like the biggest sales job. I didn't even have to do her a sales job on her. She was there right with me all the way.
And that
I mean,
they always say.
Now, I'll tell you what.
Behind every successful man is a supportive woman.
yeah. And one of the things she never really liked, period, my race cars.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is because she was always afraid I was going to get hurt or something
Yeah.
was going to happen. But two, the racing thing, she went to one off-road race, and
She saw enough at that one.
well, yeah, and yeah, it was pretty ugly. And she never went to. Well, she went to the Mint.
Did
and,
you wreck that? in
No,
that
no.
one?
It's just it was hot, dirty, nasty.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. It was not where she thought it was. And that was right before we got married. Okay, matter of fact, we hadn't even quite gotten married.
That was the only time she ever went to any race.
Well, she went to that, and then she went to the Mint. Okay, in '81.
Okay.
And her comments at the finish line, waiting on that car to come in, she was going, and then the car's coming down the way, and she goes, I think I really get it now.
Yeah.
I really,
The excitement and the
well,
adrenaline.
just the all the work effort. We are, we've done something not many people can do
Yeah.
or have done, especially from
the
where
sense
where
of
we're
accomplishment.
at. Oh, huge sense of accomplishment.
Huge sense of accomplishment.
And that was her comment to me, was I get it now,
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I'll never forget that for
Yeah.
the rest of my life.
Did you ever have to remind her of that?
No.
Remember? Just remember that one time
I'm
you
not.
felt.
No, I don't need it. No, I don't.
Yeah.
By no means.
Right.
But
She remembers. She knows. She gets it.
I just realized that it does get through.
Yeah.
At times.
Sure.
But no, that's a big part of my life, and her allowing me to do all this and not really say no. Now, I will tell you this. I have learned a huge lesson from that woman.
Yeah.
She is a very, very good person at picking out character in somebody in pretty short conversation. It doesn't take much for her to...
Well, that makes me feel good because I think she likes me.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, that her family's done some transactions with you.
Yeah, we've done a lot of business together. And,
yeah,
over the years.
And
Yeah, I'm a real estate agent too, so and I do some flipping. And at the big when we first met, I was in the construction business. And
right.
So we did a little bit of construction work for you guys up there on the hill. But yeah, we built that relationship, but then over the years, we've done several transactions with your family.
Yeah, her family especially. Yeah,
her family, and of course, we've lost some of them, and that's
right.
Those were tough times too. And but no, it's always been a pleasure living next to you guys and amazing neighbors.
I don't think I could have ever done especially think about it at age 20.
Yeah.
I could have, and knowing somebody for 8 months. Now,
yeah,
it doesn't happen that simple, people. Okay, if you're a youngster listening to this podcast, marriage is a relationship, and you work at it, all the way through.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of bumps in the road, everybody, it's going to happen,
It's going to happen. That first day you get married, it's all bliss, and you just think it's all just going to be roses from there, and it is not. Prepare yourself.
Our bumps happened before we had our only child. He was so tough to deal with. That's why we had an only child.
Yeah.
We were afraid number 2 could be just as bad or worse.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. So we were very selfish and chose with one. And you look back in your age, is like, should I have done it?
Yeah.
So
but those kind of things are.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll get back into the barbecue world here.
Yeah.
And so that we're getting ready. So I got that. And that's how I met Stuart Powell from the Cook Shack, was at a trade show in Houston, Texas with that trailer down there.
Okay.
That's in that conversation.
You're 1014.
Yeah. With the 2000 on
Yeah.
it.
He liked that thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was large and in charge, and it was professional.
Yeah. And what'd you pull it with? Or it was
that one didn't have. That wasn't that
didn't
one.
have the
that
semi.
wasn't when
Okay.
I had my toter and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
trying to remember, because
I built my toter right as Cook Shack and I got together.
when you start talking about these different things, I think about when I'm looking up on the hill and seeing the different equipment that used to be sitting up there, and even before you built your big barn and stuff up there.
Yeah. I mean that. Oh yeah.
See, I've seen all kinds of different equipment up there on the hill.
That's why I've lived where I live. I mean,
Yeah.
she wanted, when we left over there outside of Platte Woods, she wanted the big housing addition and all that stuff. And, it's got HOAs and things. And I said, look, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I said, that's not me. That's not how I got to have, other than that, I've got to have more of a shop then. And we were already having problems down there where my shop was at, getting broke into and all that kind of stuff. You never know how that's a whole nother story.
Right.
So, she kind of got it, that I have to have this stuff
Yeah.
in order to build this business.
And that's with my background in construction, and that's when I moved into that house. I was in construction, and I needed the same. I had the trucks and the tools and all that, and I wouldn't have fit in a neighborhood like that.
Right.
So we have a really unique situation down there for sure. Which I absolutely love. We obviously love it down there. We've been there for 25 years, right?
Well,
I've been there 25. You've been there 23.
Look, we're 1 mile off a major interstate in Kansas City North.
Yeah.
We're sitting on acreage.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, you just don't. There's not a lot of places like that. There's some over on that Robin Hood side, and what is it?
It's very, very small.
But they're little pockets here and there.
Little pockets.
By the grace of God, we're in one of them. So
and as an agent that people are looking, people want.
Oh yeah.
And it's like those properties.
They love that stuff.
100%. So. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's where we're at. Now I meet Cook Shack.
Okay, so you meet Stuart Powell at the trade show. Was he the CEO at that time?
Yes.
Of Cook Shack. So
Yeah.
he's already the CEO. What year was that? About?
I think it was 99.
So you're developing your relationship with him to manufacture what you've already created.
Well, not at that point.
Okay.
I've just gotten to meet him, and actually he's a competitor across the way. Very nice guy to talk to. I'm the newbie on the block there. And here again, I got to spend most of my time talking about what these pellets are.
Well, and were they even creating a pellet cooker yet?
Oh, no, they were an electric smoker company.
Yeah, Cook Shack had not even started doing pellet cookers yet.
Not at all.
You brought that to their company.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah, I did.
Tell us
and
how
that was in 2002 when we finally, you're going to read, you're not hearing about everything that I've done, but.
Yeah. You're going to hear a lot more about it in the coming episodes.
Yes.
But.
Yeah, and especially how in depth I got to know Cook Shack prior to us getting together because
Stuart Powell's on. He's coming up on one of the episodes you guys will be seeing.
I'll tease out the American Barbecue Association. I was one of the founders of that short-lived thing. So that'll be popping up. That's an important part that mixed us two together.
So tell me about that a little bit. Tell us about that initial contact that you had with him at the trade show.
Of course, I'm showing everybody and anybody. I don't care, you know. I'm there selling. Of course, he's trying to find out he's seeing something he's never seen before.
Yeah.
And of course, now he's paid attention to the competition barbecue world. He's heard about a pellet grill on the marketplace.
And now here you are
now he's
across the aisle from him with
this 750-pound rotisserie smoker oven. Now he's seeing something that is.
You had one of those at the trade show?
Yeah, it was. I had one of the 1410s there.
Okay.
Trailers is what I had there.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to sell a $50,000 trailer.
He's like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's like here again. I'm large in charge. I'm making a statement. To me, that's advertising. Okay.
Yeah.
Advertising. Let's get in talking while we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, advertising to me is like buying air. I hate buying air because I don't know how to make air show did it work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I can put pictures up. There's no internet. Remember, people, there's really very hardly
The internet's just getting started in 2000. I mean,
yeah, it's
the majority of people are not at all. And I mean, that was when I bought my first computer. It was like in 2000,
right?
2001.
So there's no social media. Okay. You're working on magazines, trade show, or trade papers, you know, all that kind of stuff is what you're working on. And cook-offs became really popular because people wanted to see and wanted to know more about what they could do in their backyard. That's why another reason why the cook-off industry kind of died off, you know, because they go right to the computer or you get on YouTube or whatever. I mean, this has changed our worlds.
Have you seen a decline? I mean, we're getting off subject a little bit here, but have you seen a decline in the cook-offs?
Oh my God, yeah, they've shrunk.
Really?
Way
So
down.
there was been kind of a ramp up climax.
Yeah, I would say let's say I wouldn't go beyond 2010 or so to where the downturn started coming. Okay, in the cook-off world.
Okay.
All right.
Well, plus it's a lot of work.
Oh my God, a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of travel.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to tell you this: prize money peaked in the early 2000s, and it started shrinking. Reason why I was hitting the circuit pretty hard is I was doing it for the prize money. I was chasing the dollars. You had to have money at your event for me to show up.
Yeah,
is what I did. And I'm hoping to interview, and I will bring him on sometime. My good friend Dr. Barbecue Ray Lampe.
okay.
And we used to talk about bottom feeding. And one of the things that you could do early days on the internet was forums. Okay, that's how we communicated with each other.
Gotcha.
Was forums, and there was a barbecue forum. A guy here in Kansas City actually owned it.
Okay.
Ray Basso, and everybody in the United States was on that forum. Okay, and this is how we communicated amongst each other once the computer world started hitting. And it was the barbecue forum, and then Larry Hill he's a rep for us at Cook Shack. And Larry started the forum called Pellet Heads.
Okay.
It was crazy. I mean, the amount of hits that thing got. I mean, it was like 2 million hits a month on Pellet Heads.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow. People were just really hungry for the knowledge,
hungry for the information
about how to cook with these pellet cookers.
Yeah, and I think people are still hungry for the information out there, and these kinds of things, hopefully that's what Pellet Cooker University's to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm trying to fill this void here. Secondly is the influencers they're not filling the void. They don't have the background in none of this. They don't know who did what, when.
They weren't the pioneers like you are.
Oh, no. They cook on some pieces of meat, and they're going to show you how to cook a brisket the 20th way of somebody's done.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not going to talk about the inclement weather that they've had to cook in, okay,
Yeah,
when the wind starts blowing. And this, you know, Chinese grill that I'm trying to sit here and show you that's $500 that you ought to buy, you know, is going to eat your lunch because it's not going to cook squat in a 20-mile-an-hour wind.
Or winter time, you know.
I mean,
people want to still cook out in the winter.
Well, and then it's like, and one of the things they do not tell you is, I went through 25 pounds of pellets to cook this brisket. You know how expensive that is?
Brisket's expensive.
I'm talking about just the fuel.
Yeah,
you
right.
know? And of course, we wanted to stay American made.
Yeah. And again, guys, I want to get into that. We're not going to get deep into that because our other shows are going to get into that. Ed's other shows are going to get into the quality of the pellets and where they come from and how much moisture content they have. And, you know, you've got all these different companies saying you got Apple and Mesquite.
Oh, yeah.
It
gets real deep. You keep listening, come back. I mean,
definitely watch some of the future shows. This is really about exploring Eddie's history and, you know, how you came into the industry and how you've actually pioneered the pellet industry. I mean,
well, I definitely, I'm going to go back to that Carroll Shelby type thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and Traeger found out by having me around and out there doing what I was doing, they were selling stuff.
Yeah.
Because nobody wanted to, I was taking a $500 Traeger grill, turned it into a $2,500 smoker.
Yeah.
Not many people want to spend $2,500, but they didn't realize it didn't make the same product.
Right.
Okay.
Well, especially in the commercial.
Well,
side.
even in the competition world, you know, we'll go back. I talk about all
competition. They cook quite a bit of meat.
Well, quite a bit, but I'm just talking about the weather. I mean, dead of summer. Okay, weather's a huge deal. All right, but in the dead of summer was probably my toughest times competing with the guys who were stick burners and stuff because they didn't have such a
Varian Sieger ring.
And of course, I'm all insulated cabinet, the whole bit. I'm trying to make that burner do the exact same thing every single time, and I could. Okay, I'm doing something nobody else is able to do on the parking lot. And where it really shined was fall, winter, and spring. And then when inclement weather come in, I'm sitting back just laughing, going, "Yeah, baby."
Now, and didn't you put a timer on it too? And the pellet, didn't you help? Innovate that?
We worked on controls and stuff later on and things, you know, but still the process of how I could get the same thing every single time, no matter what the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, I even had a cover that went over my cooker. And if it poured and monsooned, whatever, I didn't care.
Because you could put a cover on it. It's not going to burn up.
No, I'm running with the cover on my pit.
Because you're outside of your pits are not even that hot. I mean, they might get a little warm, right?
Yeah,
but they're not.
I had the tarpaulin. I still got
plastic
it.
hot.
The original. You're going to put up a picture of the OG unit that I cooked on.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I had this cover from Zam. I still got that same cover. From Zamzow made.
Oh wow.
For them, and I sold those covers too with those pits. I mean, I was doing things nobody had ever heard of.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm doing them is in order to duplicate and help, you know, keep that thing making that really good, nice taste, smoky flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's hugely important.
Yeah.
I mean, competition, but also in the industry, people cooking and catering, they want to be able to provide that same product.
Yeah, so I'm trying to go from the competition world, then get into the commercial stuff.
Okay.
And that's why it was so important for me to you know, when I finally hooked up with Cook Shack and I finally found somebody who understood the vision.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the marketing and manufacturing, and now you're with Cook Shack. You guys are innovators. I mean, you're changing the industry with these pellet cookers.
Exactly. You'll hear in the Stewart interview what it was like back in those days until people started understanding what pellets were. Pellet cooking at home really helped at the trade shows where with commercial equipment it said, yeah, that burns wood pellet. Oh yeah, I know them things. Instead of explaining every single soul that walked in the booth
for 10
what they
years
are.
you guys had to talk about
Yeah.
of what a pellet even was.
Yes, and yeah, we were educating every single customer that walked in for 10 years.
Yeah, and then finally they started getting it. It's like, what's this cooker do with a pellet?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so we've changed the barbecue industry. We're going now into the pizza world.
Yeah, and just having been the fly on the wall in all these conversations you've had with all these other guys, I really think one of the things that I found was really fascinating is, like you said, that consistency of cooking and how important that was to the commercial industry. But I think it's important to the backyard industry too. People want to be able to impress their friends. A lot of guys think, they want to fancy themselves as an amazing cook. I do. I love to be able to share wonderful dishes and meals with my friends and family and have them pat me on the back. I mean, it makes me feel like I've accomplished something. And so that consistency.
Well, I also think that's what the internet has helped do. It's helped turn the people at home with the YouTubes,
all the different recipe things,
the different recipe stuff, and how to do this or how to do that.
The influencers with their cooking shows, and
people are able to make better food at home than what they're getting out to.
Yeah.
And of course, the barbecue has become some of the most expensive foods you can buy.
Yeah.
Anymore,
especially out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's expensive to do, but now if people can learn how to do it and do it at home. But I don't know. I mean, I bet if you did a search on, I want to cook a brisket on YouTube, I wonder how many thousands of hits would come up.
Sure.
And another thing that gets me is how these guys, you got to use this as a base. And there's a guy's got a store here in Kansas City, and I couldn't get over it the other day. This is our base. We put on everything, SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. Okay, then we start from there. And it's like, oh my God, really? I never did do that. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, how many different? Of course, he's got a wall with about 1,000 different rubs on it. Now you need to layer this flavor and you need to layer that flavor. Okay, so I need you to buy this $12 bottle of 16 ounce of that.
Yeah.
I need you to you need 3 or 4. You need $36 worth of 2-3 bottles of rubs to do this guy's brisket.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder. I mean, seriously, you can't just buy one that's meant for it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, just go to the Cook Shack site and buy the brisket rub.
There you go.
That's the stuff I won with all the time, and I didn't have to mix 2 or 3 others with it. So I'm just saying.
You go.
It just,
yeah.
It just, I can't. It kills me of how many people. I got to use a little this. I got to use a little that. Da da da.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I think what makes. Well, we're not going to get into brisket and flavors of brisket and all that kind of stuff. I mean, really, we're moving towards the history, what you're talking about, how you built that relationship with Cook Shack, how important that was to the industry, and I think that's what we were really trying to convey with the audience here is and I'm enjoying that part of it. I'm having fun watching and listening to how innovative you guys were and what a huge impact that you personally and the guys that you're going to have on this program have had on this industry, on the cooking industry with the pellets and the pellet cookers. And
yes,
I mean,
well, you've seen all of them, obviously.
I've seen it all, guys, and I'm telling you, it's fascinating.
I don't know how this conversation popped up with you and I. I think we were at the Barbecue Hall of Fame event, wasn't it? We were talking or discussing, or right prior to that, or something.
I think I was in the midst of building this place,
and
then last year,
and I said something about maybe I brought up I want to do a podcast or something.
So, yeah.
And then you were telling me about the studio.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man. And I kicked it around and I wanted to hear what other people's thoughts were. Nobody really had any kind of thoughts, but I'm looking at them going, we have gotten behind times. Let's get on front of times, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then I started talking to people. I listen to podcasts all the time. And I'm when I'm driving or this or that, I'll listen to them constantly,
Yeah.
I don't listen to other stuff. You know, the news cycle, everybody's tired of it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and people like to listen to things throughout the day. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why the news was able to get as far as it got. It wasn't necessarily just the information that people were hearing. It's just being able to listen to something and gain some knowledge throughout the day while you're at work or driving in your truck or sitting in your office.
Well, that's the beautiful thing of what I'm seeing here with what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Is give people a place to do and get their voices out and try to become industry leaders of some sort.
Yeah.
You know, with this podcast studio. You know, I mean, not everybody's going to be a Joe Rogan. And like I told you,
Right.
I didn't do this to get monetized by no means. I'm doing this to try to get the information out to our customer base is what this is about. If it takes off, great, good. That's fine.
Yeah, and I love that part of it. I love that mindset that you have while you're wanting to do this. I think it reflects, and in fact, I know it reflects in the shows that you're creating.
Well, the last one we did before we started doing this, that was a total shocker. Interview did not go any way whatsoever.
Super neat guy.
Of the direction we thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, we were both just like, wow. After we
Custom Trailer Pros.
He's a leader in that industry. Okay. And I did not know a lot about Justin other than the other interactions I've had with him, but he's an, oh my God, interview.
Very good. Very good guy. You guys are going to love him. Be looking out for that one. You guys are absolutely going to love him, and you're going to want to go to his website too.
But his background, even beyond that industry that he's developed there, is very, very cool.
It is. I mean, he's fascinating. It's been a lot of fun having all these guys on here. So let's get back to what's coming up next with Cook Shack. I mean, what do you?
Oh, well, pizza. I mean, pizza. We are, the barbecue industry is a smidge on the whole food realm of things. Pizza's a pretty good chunk. Okay.
Yeah, in the spectrum of food, in the food world, barbecue's got a pretty good foothold.
It's got a niche,
but everybody loves pizza.
Pizza is a food style.
It is. You can do so many things with it, and cooks. The variety of it. The simplicity of it is.
Yeah.
Everybody loves pizza in one form or another.
Yeah, and I feel like we've got the finest pizza oven ever. And come prove me wrong, people. Come prove me wrong.
Yeah,
because I think that pizza oven we have is an industry changer. Now, I'm going to tell you.
How did we get to that? Because you're commissary.
Okay, that's right.
Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, that's a huge part of your history.
Remember, every time I've started something, I've had to develop a business to kick it off.
Yeah.
To help the industry understand.
And that's why I'm sitting in front of the camera right now. I own this podcast studio. I built it to rent 4 spaces out, and that wasn't happening as quickly as I needed it to. So
you got to start a business.
I got to start a business. I got to start getting in front of the camera myself. And sometimes now I'm also sitting behind the camera, and I know how to run the show. So, I mean, I totally understand. That's exactly what you're talking about.
You got to go and, you got to develop it.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to do with pizza. So I had a customer who did a food truck commissary in Chicago, and he put a catering kitchen in. Okay. So it was a barbecue catering kitchen. And then he converted, and me and Jay, his name is Jay Staggs. It was called Chicago Smoke. And we started helping some of his customers at Cook Shack, and they were mobile food people, food trucks. And I stopped by and seen Jay's setup. And anyway, I got to thinking about commercial real estate. There was no place in Kansas City really for a commissary for food trucks. There's people who they got a commissary someplace, but not specifically food truck oriented. And I thought, man.
Yeah.
And I had a neighbor, Chris Treat. He liked commercial real estate. I liked commercial real estate after messing around with my building and things. And I said, dude, this is a project I would really like to do. And so I showed him the business plan of what with it. He goes, I want in. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. I said I'd never get into food service, but this isn't really food service. I said, true. You don't have to cook up anything. Okay, we're just a supplier. And he goes, I kind of like the idea of it. So sure enough, we started looking. And anyway, we found this building down in the West Bottoms, just up around the corner from Restaurant Depot, but it's on the Kansas side. An old machine shop, and ended up buying it. There's great stories on all that. But we got this thing, and it took us almost a year from the time we got possession of the building till I got my health license. We built out 90% of it ourselves.
Very
okay,
good.
and it was a trashy old building. I mean,
A lot of work.
Oh yeah, a ton of work. But we built a beautiful structure out of it and put a really nice kitchen in it. Actually, Garozzo's restaurant was one of our customers. They used the kitchen for all their weddings.
Huh. Okay.
That they did.
Very good.
You know, that kept us
Yeah,
in
that's a
business.
big-
Kept us in business.
Big customer.
Yeah, big customer. Plus, then we had, I think in the peak of the summer, we had at one time 35 food trucks signed on there.
Wow.
Yeah. But also working with the health departments, it was interesting going in.
Yeah.
And
A lot of education there too.
oh my God.
Gained
yeah.
a lot of knowledge through that process. I'm
Well,
sure.
and then I had to talk with every single customer. Okay. I mean, because I knew the food service side of it so well, and I was the one that was actually consulting with people wanting to get into the mobile food world, all the licensings they needed, the whole bit. I mean, I was.
So at that time, your mindset as wanting to get into the mobile food, you're wanting to get a truck?
Well, it's truck or trailer, but it was like I need it, and we just got the pizza oven finished.
Okay, so you did know you had the pizza oven, and that's the truck you were wanting to get into.
Well,
Is
if I'm
that-
going to do something, I got to, and I'm looking at the industry. There's hardly any mobile food that's doing pizza. And I'm going, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Tacos and burgers and all that,
I mean,
you know,
the
and
ovens-
barbecue, you know, and I'm going, why
the
is
ovens take a lot of energy. If
No.
if they're an electric oven.
Oh, if they're electric or gas, you know,
and they're
or even,
big.
and they're big and heavy, and I mean, it just fit the platform so well. The
Yep.
pizza oven, I mean, it's
The one you created did.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why there wasn't pizza, probably because they didn't fit it before.
Man,
they were big and bulky
and here again, you know,
used a lot of energy.
And here again, I'd go to bed at night and I couldn't sleep. I'm thinking about what I can do for the
With this-
industry
with your new-
with this oven, what it does, and it's just like, holy cow, dude! I mean, this has to get married up, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I went and visited Justin, and I said, look, I need to order a trailer, you know, and
Let's build this thing.
I'm going to build this thing
Design
out.
it.
Yeah, and I designed.
Give me
I
the
told-
footprint so I can.
I
lay
told
it
him,
out.
we sat down. I told him every plug, every window, every this, every that, you know, and then
Yeah.
I put the equipment in myself, is what I did, because I wanted to make sure the install was exactly how I wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Cook Shack pizza oven, we have EPA 202 testing, which says we do not produce grease-laden vapors. Therefore, we can do direct vent on a wood-fired oven.
Good.
Okay.
So you don't need a hood.
Without no hood and without fire suppression. Now, that's not saying that the codes can't say, I don't care what the book says. I want you to have this. I will tell you, if you're in Washington State
Different states have different
or
codes,
Oregon,
and they might still go.
it could be very, very difficult up there. Especially Washington State. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you what's what. California, I've got a Pizza on the Bus is a customer of ours out there. It's a big old school bus.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, Pizza
that
on the
sounds
Bus,
fun.
and I think he put his under hoods, is what he did.
Okay.
But I don't know if he had to or
Yeah,
not.
this
but
to
it-
cover his butt.
yeah, but anyway, very interesting deal. But I'm here to tell you that thing is a very rock solid, very good business with and the equipment, how this thing is set up, it just makes way too much sense, and it fits all the needs, and
What you were able to do was build a wood fired grill with
No, it's an
its
oven.
pellets oven. Sorry, wood fired oven that cooks these pizzas, and you can get that thing hot,
900 degrees it'll go.
and you don't have to spin them. You throw them in and
cooks
pull
like
them out. And
it cooks like a damn turbo chef. See, everybody wants a chain oven, okay? They want a no-thinking employee. Our pizza oven burns 2 pounds of pellets an hour at 710 degrees. Okay, and you do the number. That's not. I cook because the pie we do is a New York style pie, so it's a 3 minute 15-second pie we're cooking in. So I've got these ovens double stacked.
Okay,
we call it a PZ 400, a PZ 420. Okay, and I tie the flues together on them.
How many pizzas can you cook at a time?
One.
Okay.
In there, but I'm cooking. So between the double stack there, I'm taking a pie out about every minute and 40 seconds. Okay,
one on each level.
Yeah,
so you can cook two at a time.
Two at a time. But, one on each level.
When
you're cycling, you're making a pie, putting it in. You're back making another pie, and then you're going on.
Switch that one.
And then we got timers. You just put these simple timers on there, and just hit the 3 minute, 15-second timer. And it goes off.
Right every time.
And then, take it out, put it in a box, cut it, and go.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's
nothing like it out there.
No.
There's not.
Not on wood-fired, especially. And fitting on a mobile platform. My trailer weighs, without putting product on, just at 7,000 pounds on a 16-foot platform. I actually tow it with a half-ton pickup truck. Okay.
That's you don't get it.
In a 16-foot platform. Okay, I mean, anyway, it solves all the problems in the pizza industry, and it's 451 Pizza. If anybody wants out there, look at the Facebook page 451 Pizza. Check it out if you want to get into pizza.
Find one and find the guy. There's only one. If you want one, you can get yours going.
Oh yeah,
he's working on duplicating these.
Justin's got. If you go to Custom Trailer Pros, you look at the Fast Eddie's pizza trailer.
Yeah,
he went to an 18-foot instead of a 16 for it. But it's
so the 451. Now you do have some of these other ovens out there, different.
Oh yeah, they're in brick and mortars.
How many? How many of them right now?
I got no clue, Jason. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
you're not in the hundreds yet, are you?
Oh, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're not scratching the surface,
right?
Yeah,
at
all.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Well, that kind of gets us a little bit closer to today. So that was, that relationship you built with Stuart Powell and at Cook Shack.
Well, we're still innovating.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're working hard. This is our first step into the pizza world, and when I stepped into the barbecue world commercially, I went to a big giant rotisserie smoker. I felt like that after looking back on it and an industry that did not understand this pellet thing, that might not have been the smartest thing.
The first move, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we're starting small.
Gotcha.
With these little ovens to introduce that to the pizza world.
Yeah.
And then we're going to grow from there.
There again, bringing that historic knowledge that you have and the real world experience that you have is already working in the industry and your new innovations with Cook Shack. And that's amazing. Yeah. So, and again, that's what you're trying to bring from this Pellet Cookery University. You want to share that knowledge with people. And this isn't about making money, guys, but we do want to hear from you, and we do want to see if what other things that you want to know about. And we want to have conversations with you guys about how can we get what you want. I mean,
if you want to be into a bar, we're going to bring on barbecue restaurateurs. I've got a guy that's out in Phoenix right now. He started on a food truck. Now he's got a brick and mortar. He's got the Fast Eddie's rotisseries. He's got the 120s. And I think he might have a 240. He's now got a pizza oven in his store.
That just made me think too, Ed. If you want to be on the show,
give
us a call or reach out to us on our email. We'll have it down below, or just send it in the chat on the YouTube. Make a comment, and we'll be reading every single one of those. And if you want to be on the show, we would definitely entertain that idea.
We're going to bring our customer base on. And that way we want to be able to people, if they think they want to go this direction or what they want to get into the barbecue business, we're going to bring our customer base on so they heard the stories of what these other people have done and did and things like that. And
very good.
Actually, Robert, I think he had a food truck that blew up because of gas.
Oh, geez.
Problem on it. too.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to worry about that with your pellet cookers.
No, that's there's no gas on that.
All right.
You almost have to have gas of some sorts for something
Just to get it started
on a food. No, I'm talking about on a food truck. Like if you got a stove or you've got a lot of people. I've only got 120-pound bottle on because I have a gas hot water heater.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's in order to not have to use electric. So you count every amp up.
Yeah.
On a mobile food because generators can only get so big.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we've talked to Justin about that. Watch that show. I mean, so anyway, we're not going to get into those things. This was to get to know me. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Taking the time to get on this side of the camera.
Yeah.
Instead of on that side of the camera.
Well, it's my pleasure, Ed. It truly is. I'm really enjoying watching you and being able to find out more about my neighbor. And
well, first I said when I came to you, you're probably like, yeah, I'm wondering what these are going to be like.
Yeah.
I can just, but everything, they all take a life of their own, I know, but I don't think you had a clue what you were
No, but
ready
I
to
know
get in
you
for.
well enough, and you're interesting enough, and your background's interesting enough that I know people are really going to enjoy this show and all the different shows and all the different people that you're bringing on and the history that you bring to. And that's what's been fun about this particular show here and interviewing you too. So, well,
all right.
Yeah, we really enjoy creating these shows, guys, and we really hope you enjoy watching them, listening in. And our goal is to educate and on why your smoker works the way it works and why you end up with the results that you end up with. But we also want to explore the industry and we want to pick your brains, and we want to open up the opportunity to pick Ed's brain. And the other guys that come on here are so nice, and I know they feel the same way. If you guys want to have a conversation with these guys, shoot us a message, shoot us a chat, and we'll get a hold of you.
All right. Yeah.
Sure.
Appreciate it. Okay. We're going to cut this thing off before we get another hour going here.
Right. That's it.
And I want to thank you for taking the time watching Pellet Cooker University. Jason, appreciate everything you do. Again, respond. We love you. We'll catch you again on the next episode. This was number 2. Take care. You've been dialed in to Pellet Cooker University with Fast Eddie. Smash that like button, subscribe, and share to spread the smoke. And if you're serious about cooking, check out cookshack.com. Until next time, keep it smoking.